it takes some man 20, 30, 40 years to get good at communicating with their spouse.
Do you know why I think so?
Yeah, give me your.
It's because they, without knowing it, want to be mothered.
Oh, I don't want to be mothered.
Come on now, let me just say this.
I do have something I want to say though.
Without knowing it, I feel like they want to be mothered, and they won't say it. They definitely don't want to receive it. But you want me to do all of these things for you, cook, clean, blah 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 blah. That's the same thing. Hold on, babes. That's the same thing your mama did.
All right, balance. Play the clip again. Do men want to be mothered? What are your thoughts about that?
Hey guys, happy 2024. I don't like when you send me stuff like this and then want me to speak for men, because I'm not a man. I'm not a man. I've never been a man. I can only give you my best guess, and I disagree with her. I don't want to be mothered. I don't think men want to be mothered. Nurtured is a completely different definition. We do this with words. Words have actual definitions. A mother is a mother to a child. So I don't think men want to be treated like children. I think they want to be nurtured. And those are two very different things. Like, you can nurture a man without treating him like a child. It's just that a lot of women may not know how to do that. But then there are women that do. So if you are a woman that knows how to do that, that man wants you. If you don't know the difference, he don't want you. So I just think you have to know how to nurture a man and not be condescending, talk down to him, treat him like a child, like you're above him, which a lot of women tend to do. So you just have to have that balance. Happy
That's perfectly said. We don't spoon,
yeah,
the soup flowing into our mouth.
Can you just elaborate a little bit upon that nurturing? I mean, I know you kind of broke down the child, but some women may not know what nurturing looks like. So can you just elaborate a little bit?
So, like, women are very nurturing, the majority of us, not everybody, but the majority of us, because we have children, right? So when a child is born, you have to protect them, take care of them. You answer to their every need, of course, but you're also training and teaching them. So women can't sometimes separate those two. With a man, they don't want to be trained and taught like a child, but they do want to be nurtured. So that means being loving, but you also have to be respectful. That means maybe cooking his favorite meal and listening to his issues and never bringing up his shortcomings and throwing it back in his face. There are so many different ways that a woman can be nurturing, but being loving, listening, being attentive, respectful, considerate, honest, integrity, character, listening. Like, I could name out 1,000 different things, but really it's treat a man. But this is the thing, because I say this all the time. It's nice if women have had the example of a father in the home, but sometimes when you don't have that example, you don't know how to treat a man because you haven't seen it in the home, and you haven't seen your mother treat your father in a loving, respectful way, but still nurture him. So maybe you may not know how to do that. And then it's your responsibility to go learn. You can't just have the excuse of, I didn't have a dad in the home, I don't know what I'm doing. Most of us didn't. And as people of color, most of us didn't. But that's not an excuse anymore. And so many people love making excuses of, I didn't have, so I can't. There are always resources and ways to figure stuff out. I had to find surrogate people to help me to figure stuff out because I didn't know. So you could always go find that information if you care that much, but you have to want it. You have to care that much. So yeah, don't have me coming in all late and then talking too much.
No, it's been that fire. You got that passion. I see behind it. Go ahead, One Country. Sorry, Luis, you had your hand up.
There was something at the beginning of the video that he said that was interesting. I don't know if anybody else caught it. He said it might take a man almost nearly 40 years before he begins to properly communicate with his woman. I felt like we kind of all just went right past that. And I find that to be troubling. You know what I'm saying? Very, very troubling from a personal growth and personal development. And to kind of piggyback on what Balance mentioned earlier in her statement, she said, if you didn't grow up watching or seeing you know what I'm saying, your parents communicating in such a dynamic, or that was something that was presented to you early on. I think that very, very early on in childhood, like the things that you see are the things that you model after very, very early on. So if communication and there's a cool temperature, even when things are heated or even when you disagree, you know how to handle and maneuver between each other. And children tend to kind of listen and pick up on that. And the fact that this man said that, or some men feel like it will take them 40 years, is because they have a lot of unlearning and unprogramming to do in order to learn to listen effectively. And unfortunately, we do tend to kind of speak in two different tones, two different dialects in a way, because, you know, men have a different way of expressing themselves than women do. But I find that it takes us 40 years to get to that mark. I think conversations about how to truncate that, so people understand each other very early on, you know, not wasting each other's time, and are actually getting into better and fruitful relationships that are not taking them 30, 40 years to figure out, all right, I don't think you're the one, let's just walk away, right? And it creates all these disastrous effects, you know, in family and courts and children and etc. It's just a perpetual cycle that keeps going. So I think that issue right there at the beginning is just as problematic.
I like that, Luis. Go ahead, One Country. What are your thoughts?
I 100% agree with balance. And I'm going to add to it by saying that men absolutely do not want to be mothered at all. And there's two times that men want to be mothered, if any. And that depends on what kind of mother they had. It all depends on what kind of mother they had. Um, when they're sick and when they're hurt. That's it. After that, they need you back in um woman mode, because the last thing that men are, I have 5 brothers and a dad. The last thing men are thinking about when they ready to spread you eagle is their mama. So I don't think men want to be mothered at all unless they down for the count and on laying on the mat and need assistance. Other than that, they don't want to be mothered. And that's how you lose a guy real quick, acting like his mom, especially if he had a mother he didn't really care for. But why would that's almost, if you think of a definition of a mom, because I'm trying to stick to the question, nurturing is great. It asks, does a man want to be mothered? What does a mom do? He raises a man. A real man is not one going to be mothered. His mom already did that. So let's just be for real. If you get sick, get a cold, y'all shiver and shake on the pavement and need us to do every single thing for you. Absolutely. You break a leg, tear ACL, absolutely, we're there. But other than that, you need to be just ready to be a good woman. That's my take on it.
Okay, I like that. What's going on here? Everybody went? Hank, you went?
Yeah, I went.
Somebody missing.
No, everybody.
I'm going back.
Oh, JR, you didn't go, JR. What's your take on it, bro?
You like having your bed comb, man? Laying your head on the thigh?
That's why we on in 2024. Okay, do men like to be mothered? No, I don't think I like to be mothered. I think that maybe, I'm not a child, so I don't think that you like to be mothered, but I do agree with most of the people on the panel when they say like to be nurtured. I don't think I really look to be mothered or care for in that way. Like, it's not my focus, but when it does happen, it is like, it makes you kind of do a double take, like, oh, okay. Like, you actually care. So it's not nothing that I really expect, but when women do show their appreciation, how they look, and it is something that feels good. But I don't walk around just like looking to be in the fetal position and want to be spoon fed, as Jay spoke on earlier.
Say baby boy.